Okay, looks like we are in fact going live. All right, hi everyone. Or, well, there may not be a lot of people in the chat as of yet, but I may as well greet you. I almost said posthumously, and that's not correct in any sense. Retroactively, I suppose that's the word I'm looking for. Anyway, as you can probably tell by the title of the stream, I'm going to be continuing my Final Fantasy VII playthrough. I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host, Cybernetic Pink Eye.
I mean, I hate to say it, but the rate things are going in today's world, that comment might not be so unapplicable by the time this video goes up.
Wow. That's a little morbid, dude.
It's me.
Yeah, but that's really not an okay way
Fair
to
enough.
start things off. Anyway. And it's not a joke. You're not wrong. The status of things today is not helping that potential thing, but that's just it. If it's going to be... Okay. If bad things happen, it's not impossible. Hello, people, and welcome to the stream. Welcome as people are trickling in. I am going to be getting started with Final Fantasy VII in a little bit. We're probably going to be finishing off the Sephiroth backstory bit with Cloud and probably spend a little bit more time grinding because that's what these games are good for. I try to take little chunks of grinding here and there as opposed to reaching a block and then having to spend 5 hours at a time grinding. So, besides which, it opens an opportunity for me to rant at Griffin about something, and God knows that's probably... Well, no, you don't get to do that because it's my stream.
What does that stop me before?
Do we want to go back to ranting about your quote-unquote friend, or no? You're not gonna. We're not going to air the dirty laundry.
Boy.
But y'all are wonderful people out there. Like, legitimately, this has been a very interesting week. And I mean, all of you who show up to my streams are not necessarily active, like in the servers or, necessarily in my personal life. But I'm in a good place today. I'm a little late getting started. Obviously, those of you watching this after the fact are not going to know that I started this late, but today, those of you who are showing up actually on time, I did not. There's a couple of things, of course, had to come up at the last second, because they always do. Fortunately, I was able to get through the shit that I woke up to pretty quickly. Aw, thank you, Zach.
Yeah.
Glad to hear you're in a good place, he says. Thank you.
Yes.
I hope you're doing okay. I will say, so I'm gonna fucking... People need to give me, like, paid promotion or shit like that, except I just do this fucking willingly. If you have not yet seen Hades Town, which right now would be kind of difficult, unless you wanted to go track down the slime tutorial... Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But listen to the soundtrack of Hades Town. It is absolutely worth the experience. The music is fantastic. The story is excellent. And there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, a little bit of knocking on the fourth wall. It honestly reminds me of a lot of the roots of music theater, where they actually intentionally engage the audience in telling the story. Sometimes they would ask questions of the audience. Oh my god, Zach is screaming in the chat.
So what else is new?
Yes! 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 Go do it! It is abso-fluffin'-lutely! Hello, Raprina. Welcome to Zach losing it over Hades Town, which I can't blame him. It is fantastic. And, like, it opens up with a pretty nice little kind of disclaimer and a little nod to the fact that, yeah, you're not just immersing yourself, suspending your disbelief. You are actually being engaged as the audience. They're looking to you at specific moments and being... you listening to story? Are you listening to the messages that we are telling? Are you hearing what's being said? And acknowledging the band in the middle of songs, acknowledging the chorus in these songs. They don't just introduce the characters or any of these features. They literally interrupt things to say, hey, take a look at our cast. Take a look at these fantastic performers. They are literally acknowledging that the entire thing is a performance. It's the entire show. And that's actually really cool. Because like I said, most of the times, they kind of go with the pretense of you are looking in through that fourth wall. You are watching events fold as if they were literally happening. But no, this one is literally saying, no, this isn't just me telling you a story. This is something you need to feel connected to, or that I feel you should connect to. Hey, Phoenix Rising. I'm sorry that you're not able to stay too long, but it is good to see you. Even just for the short, brief appearance that you're able to do. Rubrina, I absolutely recommend, if you have the chance to see it, if you want to look up a slime tutorial of Orpheus and Eurydice, for example. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That should probably help you find something.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would never recommend something other than watching it through a legitimate source. Obviously, that would be a little difficult right now, given that, theaters can't exactly open for the sake of the safety of both the participants, the performers, and the audience.
I mean, your heart fiddly do.
Well, as it goes. I am going to get started with Final Fantasy VII. I know that this took a little bit of a detour, but I will promote the hell out of a good soundtrack and a good show. It's fine, like any good Phoenix. I always come back. That's very true. Where was I? Yes, I'm going to get started with Final Fantasy VII. This is the part where I do the obligate, those of you who are watching the stream, those of you who are watching afterwards, those of you who watch my content in general, if you would like to support the channel, or channels, multiple channels, there's the coffee.com/mlorelei that is on screen right now. You can also go into the links either on the main channel page or usually in every description, every video, and follow the link to my Patreon if you want to support me on the regular. Even just $1 a month can make a huge difference to any creator over time. None of it is necessary. Like, you're not required to pay me money to see the stuff that I do. God knows that I know that it's so important for us to have, affordable/free entertainment in the world as it is today. So I'm not going to be sitting here and holding out my hand and being like, I'm going to withhold the stuff that I want to do until you pay me the monies. But it certainly does help me get by month to month. So that's why I take the time to be like, hey, Will Smith pose, all of that stuff.
Yes.
And all of the standard like, comment, subscribe stuff. Like, there's a reason why every YouTuber goes through that whole script every time. I'm sure I've already said it multiple times now. Most of y'all are regular viewers of my stream. Don't need to explain it to you. The only other thing I might say is be sure to check out my Sirenia Studios channel, which is also linked all over the place, because there are some really cool stuff that's going to be coming through the pipeline. Hopefully soon. I know that one's going to actually be coming out this weekend, and patrons are going to get early access to that, as usual. Sorry that I keep sniffling here. I'm fine, I promise. It's just a side effect of waking up a little earlier than I probably should. You heard a cat? That's not that you. The chances are you would. And hello, King Necromime. Scream, he says. But I do have, there's that new video, and I will say, I remarked on this last time, but, I just capped over 3,000 views on my, the other side cover that I did with Griffin here.
Yeah.
It's more than likely Zlore's cat. I have 3, and there's a 4th one also in the house. There's a good chance that if you heard a cat, it's one of them. Anyway. Yeah. But I was really surprised to see that, and I'm sure I said this before, but, like, it's encouraging to me as someone who still somewhat struggles to feel like my performances are engaging for people. It can be difficult, but this is kind of tipping things in the direction of, no, people do like your singing, so do it, kind of thing. Yeah. Hey, Ragnar, welcome. Congrats, it's a good cover. Thank you, Shakarian. It came out really well, and honestly, here's the funny thing. It originally was not recorded to be posted to my channel. It was literally...
a shit post.
It wasn't a shit post, but what it was in the middle of our D&D campaign, we had an option to have a little bit of fun with characters putting on a performance, and while one of them in the performance, Weldon, is an NPC, those of you who are longtime fans of my streams know who Weldon is, come on. But obviously the NPCs are all played by the DM, who is Gab, who's not present today, but, you know, she's in our hearts and prayers. Anyway, the Griffin has been officially cast as the voice from Weldon, and he went with an interpretation for the performance that might be adjusted in the future.
Wow, thanks.
We've talked about this. I've told you before that Gab has a very specific tone in mind for him, and you keep avoiding sounding like Markiplier because you don't like the dude.
Oh, yeah. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, in all seriousness, I am happy to play the role, and I do have fun with it.
And he does a fantastic job with portraying Weldon, to the point where occasionally he'll suggest dialogue. Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shakarian.
Hey.
He'll suggest dialogue, and then Gab will often be like, no, I like that better, what you said. And honestly, it's so funny when he does that, because I think that one of the ones that happened recently was during a moment when my character Peak, who has spent the entire, like, one of the characters, I have 2 characters in this campaign, it's complicated, but yeah, Peak, who recently was able to return to her own body and speak with Weldon directly, she spent the entire campaign hating his fucking guts, because one of the first things that he did, as far as she was concerned, was attack a character that she has kind of adopted as her little brother, kind of thing. And she could never forgive him for that, basically. But then she kind of saw, actually, he's not a bad guy. He's a jerk, but not always. He's a little flippant. And, you know, they've had some good moments there. Actually, that was an example of what I was talking about. I got so distracted from shit. Anyway, please excuse me. No, it's not a Google noise. That was actually from the coffee.com. That's the notification that someone actually sent me a donation through Coffee. So
yeah, the
instance of Griffin coming up with dialogue on the fly, these moments, a lot of them were really cool and they kind of overlapped. But no, it was so in the process of getting Peak out of Ophelia, because she was kind of temporarily possessing her, Ophelia is knocked unconscious, and Scout, her boyfriend, who is a wizard of the College of Transmutation, was kind of at her side, and there was a conversation going on between one of the other party members, Ken, and Weldon, where Ken asked whether or not Weldon knew anything about the transmogrification school of wizardry. Now, it's understandable that Ken, who is not used to magic, who doesn't necessarily know as much about, he's not been in the world of magic, he kind of incidentally inherited. It's okay if the word got jumbled up on his end. But he said this to Weldon, and he goes, no, I'm not really of that, the school of transmogrification. And now, Scout, sitting there listening to this conversation, he already hates Weldon. And he hears Weldon call it transmogrification, and he just says transmutation.
That's what I said.
No. It gets better than that, because what you actually said was funnier. He goes, transmutation. It's transmutation. And Weldon responded to him, right, what did I say?
Yeah, what did I say?
And in the moment, Gab loved that response from Griffin, because Griffin just like literally improvised that on the fly, and just this moment of absolute fucking rage crosses Scout of just like, I hate him so much.
Weldon is one of those characters I think I have the most fun with when it comes to the improv stuff, because he is such a cheeky son of a bitch. Like he's in a perpetual state of DreamWorks face, and I feel like that because he has that sort of attitude that leaves him open for like so many fucking like quips. Like I'm a quippy son of a bitch, as Lorelai can attest, and so whenever when I'm given the opportunity to play a character like with whom it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, it is completely in character for him to throw a quip in. I mean, I'm all in.
Yeah. I will say, to give you another little read on Weldon's personality, he can be serious. Like, I know that, for example, Ophelia has gone to him asking about morality involving wanting to kill someone. Like, am I a good person because I experienced actually wanting to kill someone? And then later updating after being the first character in the campaign to actually kill someone who wasn't actually explicitly a monster of some kind. And he took that seriously and was able to actually reassure her. On the flip side of that, at one point, after one of the other characters in the campaign, technically it's two NPCs, but Louis, the NPC who was possessed by Sam, the other NPC, and Sam being literally also Weldon from a different timeline, or rather, Weldon's the Sam from a different complicated. Anyway, so they were both knocked unconscious because the one soul was pushed out of Louis. And so Sam was able to revive, and Louis was still unconscious. And Weldon, who was watching over that situation, came outside where everyone was kind of gathered having a conversation and, you know, just in general chilling, hanging out. And at some point, what would be the word for it, like, for what Camazotz is?
Oh, a construct, I believe.
Construct. Basically, a giant metal robot bat thing.
Yeah.
Camazotz, or Cam for short, had come down to kind of socialize with the group, including Peak, who was just immediately enthralled by him. And Weldon comes out to let everyone know, hey, Sam's awake, you know, so come inside so we can meet him properly, etc. Instead of saying anything about that, though, he looks to Cam, says, oh, good, stay right there, and walks back inside.
Subroutine accepted.
And then Owen, of course, was like, no, Weldon doesn't get to sit.
Subroutine override.
So, and like, people did follow him back and kind of like piece together, oh, he probably came out because someone's awake. And the reasoning why he asked Cam to stay put was so that Cam could be introduced to Sam and have the input of, all right, this is Samuel Liskandon. He is now a priority subject, protect, etc. But instead of directly saying any of that, he literally just said, okay, yeah, you stay put, and went back inside. So that's like a fucking slice of who fucking Weldon is. Or when everyone in the room, so Scott was invited to a meeting via basically...
I knew you were going to bring this one up.
Invited to the meeting by phone, basically, and as everyone was kind of going around reintroducing themselves to Scout, Weldon's response was to say, "Hey,
fucker!
Hey, fucker!"
Hey, fucker!
And that wasn't an improvised line from
me. That was Gab.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I just got an Amber Alert on my phone.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, this, not surprisingly, happened a lot out here.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are 2 small girls that were abducted in Kansas that are apparently crossing over into Oklahoma, so that's a thing that just happened. No wonder Scout hates him. Okay, but no. Okay, so Walden spent a lot of time antagonizing the fuck out of Scout for the longest time, and even when Scout was there on good faith that this was something that he wanted to be part of, the first thing that Walden fucking says to him is, "Hey, fucker," and his response was basically a very patient, "Yes, I know that you're there too." It's Mueldon, Mueldon.
Weird fucking name, we know, but
It's a combination of Samuel Iskandon.
yeah.
Anyway, has been stealing from Vine, it seems. You joke, but Gab is an avid fan of Vine, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said I was going to play a game, and then I got sidetracked, but I will say, I am very happy. I don't know if that picked up on the mic. I will say one of the fun things from this last session, I don't know that we actually even really talked about it, but they ended up going to the dream world because our characters couldn't stop fighting. Owen and Ophelia have had a very tentative relationship with one another, as
Say
in
the least.
very contentious. They're both highly intelligent and highly skeptical and highly averse to social life. Well, not averse to social life, but with connecting with people in an earnest way. And so they have a lot in common, which means that all of the things that they don't like about themselves, they end up kind of conflicting with each other on. Plus, Owen did a thing that literally traumatized her and re-traumatized her from a previous trauma, so she was kind of pissed at that he wasn't taking it very well, and it came to a head when he accused her father of being a serial killer. And
well, considering all the evidence pointed in that direction.
I'm not going to dismiss that. I'm just saying, obviously, people have a reason to believe that because the evidence is right there. I'm saying from the perspective of Ophelia, this asshole just accused her father of being a serial killer, and she was so fucking appalled that she took the magic item that they had found earlier that day, which is a small bear statue that actually had the tendency to kind of bring out the rage in people that were exposed to it, and clonked him over the head with the fucking bear statue.
Thankfully by this point, Owen had already transferred his soul into a warforged body, so he wasn't immediately murdered.
But, you know, the intent was there. And he...
Runs in the family, I suppose. I joke. Again, we don't know for sure whether or not it was Blaine, so...
Yeah, he just happened to be kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, as far as we know, anyway. Yeah. It's still highly sus, because he was right there, and was like, no, let's get away from here, don't look in the alley, and it's like, Blaine, buddy. But... hitting Owen with the fucking statue activated it and actually sent them into a nightmare world. And in the process, Owen and Ophelia got fused into the same soul, cursed to be half of the same person.
Stefani of the Damned.
Stefani of the Damned. Fuck you, but you're not wrong. Am
I wrong, though?
I said you're not. Anyway... So this new entity we decided was going to be named Mercury, which was, you know, for the planet, as well as the deity, the lines of communication, science, logic, etc. It felt like a pretty good gender-ambiguous name for the two of them being in the same person. And they ended up being the only one who failed their fucking will save, or their wisdom check. And the only one to not realize that they were in the dream world, which is ironic because they were the two that were most transformed by it.
Yeah.
Everyone else was able to figure out, oh, we're in a dream, outside of the NPCs. Anyway, I brought all of this up because, unfortunately, Weldon being Sam, but in a different body, because his soul was pushed out of his normal body and into the body that is now Weldon, in the soul realm, still looks like Sam. And the party members that came across him actually ended up, like, watching Weldon as they know him physically antagonizing Sam, or Sammy, with basically, like, it's all your fault, it's, you only have yourself to blame, and he was not doing okay. So that was an example. That was an example of, another facet of Weldon. Oh yeah, also, the big bad of the campaign showed up, and it was only in one of the little pockets, and it was where Scout was in this nightmare world. And yeah, so the big evil goddess of the campaign thus far showed up and was trying to antagonize them, and Ophelia fucking sassed her.
Yeah.
My character has fucking balls. Or I should say, she's got fucking ovaries. Again, fucking resilient little shit. She literally mocked the fuck out of Dahlia as soon as Dahlia showed her face. Now, we don't know for sure whether or not it was actually Dahlia or a manifestation of her, like, a facsimile thereof. But, like, she literally said to someone that might actually be a goddess that was going to kill them, potentially on the spot, and just literally basically threw up her middle finger at her.
Yeah.
Completely countering everything that she was saying, like, anything that you do to us here is only going to work against you in the end.
Yeah.
If you try to kill us here, even if you succeed in killing us, you're just going to cement your doom all the more. You're only going to hurt yourself if you try to kill us. So, among other things, she was just straight up like, you should not be underestimating us. I mean, after all, we kind of are taking all of your closest, your nearest and dearest. 3 out of your 4 top agents, we've converted to our side.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there with one of those left, and you're gonna come here and trying to intimidate us. Because, Anyway. I'm gonna go back to actually playing the game. I keep saying that I'm gonna, but I keep getting obviously fascinated by conversation. Alright.
I would love to watch it with you, so if you would be so kind as to screen share.
Why would you want that?
I don't know, right?
You're crazy, man.
Yeah, for more reasons than that.
I mean, yeah. Alright. Looks like it's loading. Hello? Oh boy. Can you hear me, Griffin? So I tried to share a screen with him, and he is, I suddenly can't hear. Okay. That was weird. Little technical difficulty, apparently. Hello? Uh-oh. No, I can't. Hang on. I wasn't expecting to have... I mean, I can't have a stream without any kind of technical difficulty, of course. So, I am going to try calling once more. Let's see. Hello? No? Okay. Nope. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have to restart Discord because apparently it is having a difficult time with this fucking call. Apparently trying to share my screen was just one step too far for this motherfucking thing. So I'm going to restart it, and there's a good chance that it's going to take a few minutes because I also saw that it had an update ready, apparently. So that's quite possibly what even caused the fucking problem. Because apparently Discord just decided to have a fucking issue. Damn it, Discord, must you kill Griffin? I mean, technology was going to kill him eventually anyway. Hello!
So that was perfectly timed up on my part.
What? Us both saying hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's try this again. Hopefully it doesn't fucking murder Discord again.
I hope not.
There we go. Alright. Okay, now it's popping up.
Yep.
And I can still hear you. Great! You know,
Awesome.
this is all your fault for requesting that I screen share, you realize.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's totally not the fault of the person who wanted the additional voice actor involved.
Oh dear, Discord R. Griffin. 8.
Yeah.
There's something about the phrasing of Discord R. Griffin.
See, I picture that, but with like the backwards R from Toys R Us.
Discord R. Griffin. Come check out our discounts on bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm handing it out for free, so.
It's fine. Fluttershy would kill Discord probably.
Leave Jane out of this.
Yeah. A little bit. Anyway, so I'm actually gonna do the thing. We were taking place in Clouds Past.
I get it. I don't get it.
Tifa, were you waiting outside then? Yes. We returned to Nibelheim. Sephiroth confined himself to the inn. He didn't even try to talk to me. Then all of a sudden he just disappeared, right? We found him inside the biggest building in Nibelheim. The villagers used to call it the Shinra Mansion. Now they call it nothing. 'Cause they're all dead.
I mean, you beat me to it.
Long ago, people from Shinra used to live in that mansion.
Long ago in a distant land.
Cloud, did you save in the middle of your own flashback? Yes.
I mean, we should all be so lucky to have that opportunity.
Of course, I love that you bring that up. So small, this is me just being fucking amused out of my fucking mind with this. But, okay, so the voice, who took over for Iroh, Jesus Christ, that was loud.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So the voice that took over for Iroh from Avatar The Last Airbender, as well as basically any role that Mako did prior to passing away, unfortunately. This guy took up for it, and he posted something to Twitter, and it was all in good humor. But unfortunately, it played on an unfortunate stereotype, and so I just kind of came in and I was like, hey, this isn't exactly cool. I get it. And it's funny, I get what you're saying, but we really should be judging them on their character and not what we think they are. And he said, Sai, you're right, and so is my mom. I successfully mommed General Iroh. Okay, guys?
I mean, if anyone's gonna do it.
So Shinra had a mansion that bears the same name, then why didn't Sephiroth, Cloud, and company set up a temporary base there? Well, the thing is that they used to live there, and they didn't really live... It wasn't named for them, they just called it the Shinra Mansion because there was a Shinra occupancy, basically.
Yeah, imagine if, you had some oil tycoons staying, at, a Days Inn all the time, and eventually they came to call it the BPN. Sort of like that.
Alright, just gonna take a little quick look around. So a little tour of the building.
Yeah.
Just kind of showing where everything is. And here's a safe. But we can't interact with it. We're going to interact with it in the future.
Yeah, retroactive thievery is the best kind.
Oh. So this is where I'm supposed to be going.
Yeah.
I'll get back to that. So there's this nice little room down here. Interesting shit. There's also this room back over here. Ooh. Oh, that's right. There's a piano in here. Is it broken? Probably broken.
Watch it start chomping after you like Mario 64.
Hey, that was a jump scare before most of us knew what jump scares were. Oh, this room's just fucking blocked. Okay, I see how it is. Well, fuck you too, then. Alright, so we've had a nice little tour of the Shinra Mansion. I can go upstairs, I promise you.
You can, sure. Cloud, not so much.
There's
no sign of Sephiroth, but I know I saw him go into this room.
You're useless. And again, I love the detail. I love the detail that there's always at least one of these soldiers around.
Yeah.
Well, my shoulder bumped the wall and it collapsed, so...
You didn't even have to pull a book.
Imagine Cloud just talking about exploring and stealing in detail, and Barrett is just asleep at this point. Yeah. That sounds about right, honestly.
Yeah.
So I explored...
7 days.
I explored... Oh my god, so you just even reminded me. So obviously you guys know the ring and all of that. You watch the video and like supposedly 7 days after watching the video, you get killed by, you know, girl who comes...
Sadako.
Yeah, Sadako. Girl who comes out of a fucking well and, you know, through TV and stuff like that. When I watched that movie for the first time, and it was by getting the VIII, I think we rented the movie. It was either that or like it was on TV, but either way, I watched that, and as soon as the movie ended, the phone rang.
Oh, that's good.
That's not good. It was fucking terrible.
Speaking of fucking terrible, hey Sephiroth, where you at?
Want to talk about the piano session?
An apparently dead organism was found in a 2,000-year-old geological stratum. Professor Gast named that organism Genova. X year, X month, X day, Genova confirmed to be an ancient. X year, X month, X day, Genova project approved. The use of Mako Reactor 1 approved for use. These bitches really don't know how to write numbers, do they?
No, they can write X.
Thanks, Nomura. My mother's name is Genova. Genova Project. Is this just a coincidence? Professor Gast, why didn't you tell me anything? Why did you die?
Can I help you, Sir Pounce? This really isn't the time for cuddles. Sweetie, come on.
Maybe it is, and you just don't know it.
Well, I'm sure that Sephiroth could use a kitty cuddle right about now.
He could use some major fucking pet therapy.
Truly the most evil of beings. He reads a book. Baby? Yes, baby. What is the matter? Why are you sniffing the computer?
Because it's inconvenient to you at this moment.
It's not, though. Anyway. No opinion on the scientific stuff here, Cloud? Alright.
Let me be alone. Is there an echo in here? I didn't know you could go past him.
I didn't know that either. Apparently I'm not allowed to interact with anything.
Watch there be like another sword wedged into some book. How many does this fucker have, by the way?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. He keeps them in hammer space anyway.
But what if I want to make out with you?
Save that for the future. And for Kingdom Hearts. Let's do the fork in the garbage disposal.
A ding 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 ding. Anyway. Let me be alone. Okay, allow me to surpass you then. Oh. Surprisingly pop. I don't think it's all that surprising.
Yeah.
Sephiroth didn't come out of the Shinra mansion.
He came out of the closet.
He continued to read as if he were possessed by something, and not once did the light in the basement go out.
Interesting wording.
Just gonna fucking chill in the bed over here.
Mean.
It's one way to get out of bed.
I just imagine like Molly from Epithet. Scoot, 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 scoot.
God, we need to rewatch that at some point.
We really do.
Epithet Erased, for those of you who for some reason don't know what that is. Go watch it. It's on YouTube.
Yes. And support them by buying the plushie so they can make season 2.
So, I don't know if you can tell, but we're in for a really happy, fun time right now.
Oh, yeah.
Sephiroth seems different. I mean, yeah, have you seen how he wields his sword?
Yeah. Oh, so this is where the echo was coming from.
Again, nice use of a subtle Dutch angle on this one. I mean, I know we've had this before too, but...
Oh, yeah. Also, see, now I'm just getting reminded of that, you know, one track from Donnie Darko, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Wait, go watch what? Epithet Erased. Hello, Boba Fett.
Yes. It is a series based on a tabletop campaign made by the creator Jello Apocalypse,
Right.
who is responsible for the So This Is Basically Blank series.
Right.
Or So This Is Blank in a Nutshell, something to that effect.
Another Dutch angle.
Mm-hmm. Who is it? Traitor.
Traitor?
You ignorant traitor. I'll tell you. This planet originally belonged to the Cetra. Cetra was an
Itinerant.
Itinerant, thank you. Cetra was an itinerant race. They would migrate in, settle the planet, then move on. At the end of their hard, long journey, it was said they would find the promised land and supreme happiness. But those who disliked the journeying appeared. They stopped their migrations, built shelters, and elected to lead an easier life. They took that which the Cetra and the planet had made without giving back one whit in return. Those are your ancestors.
I love this scene for so many reasons. This is such a fucking turning point in the game for so many obvious reasons. Obviously, this is an interesting revelation.
Yeah?
Excuse me for continually drinking. I'm running into fucking phlegm issues over here. I'm sorry, I've been reading Garfield's comic strips. It's hilarious.
God. I mean, I had Mexican food before this, so I've got a bit of the same situation going on.
And I just woke up like this. Anyway, and I'm gonna say, again, playing this for the first time, maybe this isn't such a big deal today, but playing this for the first time when I was 12, this scene was horrifying, actually. Anyway. Sephiroth.
Long ago, disaster struck the planet. Your ancestors escaped. They survived because they hid. The planet was saved by sacrificing the Cetra. After that, your ancestors continued to multiply. Now all that's left of the Cetra is in these reports.
Ragnar in the chat. First time I'm watching this scene, but I'm already telling how big of a turning point this is, judging by Sephiroth's words and think about the plot so far. Yeah. What does that have to do with you?
Don't you see? An ancient named Genova was found in a 2,000-year-old geological stratum. The Genova Project. The Genova Project wanted to produce people with the powers of the ancients, or the Cetra. I am what was produced.
Produced?
Yes. Professor Gast, leader of the Genova Project and genius scientist, produced me.
How did he? Sephiroth?
Out of my way. I'm going to see my mother.
That moment of the fucking theme kicking on like that. I know this doesn't sound this impressive today, compared with what we have in terms of game music available. But this fucking shift, that drop, and then this.
Jesus.
On that ominous line of, I'm going to see my mother. I am so, like, this is literally one of the, and the thing is, again, we get to this moment after seeing Sephiroth mentioned so many times, and then we see the carnage in the Shinra building. We see him introduced in this flashback as being able to effortlessly destroy this huge-ass dragon.
Yeah.
He murders things just so fucking strong, so powerful, just a fucking almost god in man form. He is portrayed as something that is almost impossible to fucking fight. And then we get to watch him unravel. We get to watch him go from a general who actually cared about the fucking entourage that was with him to calling Cloud a fucking traitor, and then deciding to go find his mother. And we can already tell at this point, there's that little heart dropping into your gut feeling of the music changing at what he just said. And then it gets worse from there.
God, this is what happens when Sephiroth makes a 23andMe account.
Anyway. Alright. So this is the first time we actually have to reverse the... And I love that they have this long sequence of having to run through all of these tunnels just to get up the stairs to follow him. Just to, again, build the anticipation. And I'm pointing all of this out because despite this being a game made, like, 23 fucking years ago. Christ, I'm old. But 23 fucking years ago, and this game knows how to tell the story. It uses the gameplay to build up your fear, to build up your hesitation and your sense of dread. I like to see how people change since Undertale the musical. Good times, okay. I don't think I've changed much, just personally. I know that it's for artistic reasons and technical limits, but I'm not a fan of fixed camera angles. If I can't move the camera, I don't like it. Well, I will say, for example, in games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, it's actually intentional. It is to add that sense of helplessness, that sense of being off kilter, of not having control over your environment, because there's survival horror. And in this game, it's also meant to indicate, like, the cinematic feel. Like, this was one of the first games to really and truly want to make it a cinematic feel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I will say, like, I'm personally not a fan of fixed camera angles in games either, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think I ever played that many horror games growing up, also because I'm squeamish, but
yeah.
I do appreciate, like, the intention behind them, and that the fact that they are made specifically to make the player feel uncomfortable and out of control.
So, I know that that's one of those things, like, I also get it, but they use a lot of those kind of fixed camera angles specifically for the purpose of making you realize how serious something is. And it really helps to tell the story with all of this. So, soldier that was stationed here is no longer here.
He's got his union lunch break. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. This ain't gonna be good. So, like, if you thought this was already pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sweet, Burning Man's in town. It's you! You're still sane, right? Then come over here and help me.
Oh wow, your audio's distorting.
I think because I was screaming so much, I'm sorry.
And again, Cloud just turning around and around.
I'll check this house. You check that one over there. And he was never seen again.
Sephiroth. And you may remember that this was Cloud's house.
Yeah.
Terrible. Sephiroth. This is too terrible. And welcome to one of the coolest fucking cutscenes.
Yep, here it is.
The slow turning of his face upwards. The smirk. And again... Okay, I guess that's done. The background noise along with the music, showing how fucking... What would be the word for it? I mean, insane, I suppose.
Yeah.
How completely unstable he is. That sound of something sliding. You know, he was completely untethered from who he was before all of this, as a result of what he learned by coming here. Hey, Skeeto, welcome to the stream!
Hello, you're just in time for murder.
You know, that's not incorrect. So this fucking scene, imagine being 12 years old, alright? And some of you, that's not too far off. But imagine being 12 years old, and back in the day when these graphics were actually, like, really top of the line. And you see this character just absolutely surrounded by flames, slowly raising his gaze to smirk at you and then turn to walk into the flames of his own destruction.
Yep.
It's not just sinister is I'm talking about like off kilter. That was the word I was looking for. He was off kilter, completely teetering within himself, and you hear it and you see it and you know, holy fuck, the music builds to it from the fucking heartbeat pulse music going into the basement, and then the declaration of I'm going to see my mother, and the music suddenly kicking in with this sort of like, you know, organ based, you know, heavy, terrible fucking music. I say terrible, but it's so fucking good. And you know that shit's going down, and so you have to run all the way through the building. You have to run up the stairs. You have to run through the front of the building, and you have to run outside to see the fire. You see this destruction, this mass destruction consuming the entire town of Nibelheim. And when you go to try to save anyone, and you find that your mother has already been killed. And then you turn to see that. This game... I know that I'm over-explaining it, but I'm gonna fucking do it anyway, because that's what I do. This game knows how to use gameplay to make you, the player, horrified at what you have just seen. It uses your interaction with the game to make you feel like, what's going to happen? Am I going to get attacked by this guy? Am I going to find myself slain by this motherfucker? I mean, we know, obviously, but you get that anxiety of, like, oh my god, what's going on? Yay, murder! Yes.
Yay, red rum!
And something that was planted very early on in this playthrough, in this game, this scene. Papa. Sephiroth? Did Sephiroth do this to you? Sephiroth, Soldier, Mako Reactors, Shinra. I hate them all! I'm not gonna actually yell, so apologies for not nailing that line.
Sucks to suck, don't it?
And again, the fucking buzz.
Mother, I'm here to see you. Please, open this door. Genova, open the door, please. Genova, open the door.
How could you do that to Papa and all the townspeople?
Like this.
Oof. Maybe that's how he keeps getting his sword back. People keep picking it up and handing it back to him.
Fetch.
You promised. You promised that you'd come when I was in trouble.
And that was the day I died.
It's why she sucks at martial arts now.
That would actually make sense, unfortunately.
Well, motherfucker, you attacked the wrong girlfriend.
I'll let you into my private life.
And again, another one of those cinematic cutscenes that was very new at the time.
Yeah.
And again, emphasizing the sense of this being something religious in nature with the organ music. I mean, implied organ music, but still. And his arms spread wide in deference to this altar. You know, if you ask me, absolute silence isn't that scary. What I find scary is absolute silence mixed with slight ambient noises. Absolute silence combined with fire noises is so creepy to me. Yeah. Concussions are no joke, kids.
Mother.
I may or may not be a little drunk, says Skeeto. Well,
Ah.
you're entitled to that. Just be sure to take care of yourself. Anyways.
Yeah, you sure picked a hell of a game to come in on drunk, I'll tell you that much. Mother, let's take the planet back. Together. I've thought of a great idea. Let's go to the Promised Land.
Sephiroth. My family! My hometown! How could you do this to them? And again, the slow, deliberate movement.
They've come again, Mother. With her superior power, knowledge, and magic, Mother was destined to become the ruler of this planet.
And then this one.
Those worthless creatures are stealing the planet from Mother. But now I'm here with you. So don't worry.
There she is. You may notice that she still had her head there.
Uh-huh.
Griffin is nailing this. Yeah, he's a fantastic voice actor.
Well, thank you.
I lost count after 7 shots of whiskey and it's only 1 p.m. Well...
I mean, again, at least he chose the right number for this stream.
I've seen the anime version of this scene from the prequel of Final Fantasy VII, and it plays out super differently from this one. Less ominous and horrifying than this. That's just it. Like, I've seen what you're talking about too, and I never really saw the actual source, but I saw those clips, and I know what you're talking about. And that's just it. The difference between the way that this game sets this whole thing up and engages you as part of it.
Oh yeah, I'll also say that the Advent Children recreations for the flashbacks were also done supremely well.
Oh yes. Absolutely fucking well. But like that cutscene of him tearing away that structure, that slow, like, and of course, I forget exactly what it's called, but that technique of having like the focus distance change.
Yes. So where like the character gets closer but the background gets further away.
Something like that, but I forget exactly what that technique is called, but it's a specific thing where it changes like the focus length, which has a profound impact on feeling like the thing that you're looking at is disconnected from the world around it.
I love those kinds of shots so goddamn much.
And you see him, especially with his eyes wide with excitement and absolute madness. Anyway, what about my sadness? My family, friends, the sadness of having my hometown taken away from me!
Oh, cry me a river, colonizer.
Wow. It's the same as your sadness!
My sadness? What do I have to be sad about? I am the chosen one. I have been chosen to be the leader of this planet. I have orders to take the planet back from you stupid people for the Cetra. What should I be sad about?
Sephiroth, I trusted you. No. You're not the Sephiroth I used to know.
He's really not. Anime shot.
I mean, it is.
Anime shot.
Sorry, epilepsy
Seizure warning, kids.
Sorry. And that's the end of my story.
And that's how I died.
Wait.
Do 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 do.
Well, John, I'm sorry to inform you, but neither of us are associated with that group.
Yeah.
So, I think you'll know by whomever is actually on the team.
Yeah.
Because as I've said before. Anyway.
Ah, boy. Well, wait a damn minute. That's it? No more?
I don't remember. What happened to Sephiroth? In terms of skill, I couldn't have killed him. Official records state Sephiroth is dead. I read it in the newspaper. Shinra Inc. owns the newspaper, so you can't rely on that. I want to know the truth. I want to know what happened. I challenged Sephiroth and lived. Why didn't he kill me? I'm alive too. Yes, thank you, Tifa. Cliche anime trope. Cloud,
Yeah.
Sephiroth! A lot of this doesn't make sense. What about Genova? It was in the Shinra building, right? Shinra shipped it from Nibelheim to Midgar. Did someone carry it out later? It was missing from the Shinra building. Sephiroth?
Damn. None of this makes sense. I'm going.
Barrett.
Alright, calm down, Energizer Bunny. And I'm leaving the thinking to you. Yeah,
Unfortunate.
I was going to say. Yo, Cloud, let's get a move on.
Wait a sec.
Cloud, what's wrong? You just gonna stand there while Sephiroth heads to the Promised Land? I'd lend Sephiroth or Shinra get to no Promised Land. If they do, then we're all screwed.
It's been literally years since then, Barrett. There's no more of an urgency to get there now than there was 20 minutes ago.
One could say the same of climate change, but...
Really, man?
God. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like either of these responses,
Yeah.
but like... I'm not gonna do the is that all.
Come in. Listen, Cloud, your store was stinking so damn long I ordered pizza.
Remember the day... Do you ever miss the days when something you're a fan of was niche? I remember being an Undertale fan before it was known for well, you know. I mean, I remember being an Undertale fan before it was known as a whole, but that changed pretty damn quickly.
Yeah?
I guess I'll go with beautiful, just beautiful.
Just leave it to me.
No. Oh, brother. Cloud? How bad was I after Sephiroth stabbed me?
At what?
I thought you were a goner. I was so sad. The ancients, Cetra, Genova, Sephiroth, and myself. Let's go. Barrett's waiting.
No, he's eating. What a fascinating story.
And after all that...
That fucking music!
Barrett totally would order a pizza during Cloud's flashback. You're not wrong.
Yeah?
Nope. Not back upstairs.
Red got down here pretty quick. Yo, Cloud. Here, I saved you a slice.
Received. PHS. Changing party members. Access the menu and select PHS. It can only be used on the world map or at a save point.
Stands for pepperoni, ham, and sardines. PHS will put us in constant contact with each other. Alright then, we're out of here.
Bye.
Oh god, this character.
Alright, we already did our shopping. We're already pretty good. I forget if I ever actually... Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Alright. Fire, ice, poison, restore. I think actually I want to switch that out for earth. Fire, ice, earth, restore, and lightning.
Disturb not the harmony of fire, ice, and lightning.
Wait. I think I'm gonna leave that combination on her for now. I'm trying to decide between heal, earth, and poison for her. I do want to get these built up a little bit more, so... Wait, did I ever equip them properly after everything? Oh, that's right, they left the fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but that's, Alright. Wait. Okay. Lightning. Restore all ice. Enemy skill I do want to keep in combat. I don't think we need to worry about ice so much. I do want to get her on one of the heals. I want to get her on one of the heals. Anyway, please, I need more of his wisdom. Red wasn't even listening. I need more of his wisdom. Alright, yeah. What's up, man? Take this guy.
Listen to me. Just now, some guy with a black cloak walked east towards that grassy field.
Oh, good!
He's got this killer sword, emphasis on killer, and looks real scary. That was the whole thought.
Yeah, you are a whole thought.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
And now the PHS option is now available.
Yeah.
On there. Alright.
And I do love that transition from the, like, sort of somewhat, not gleeful, but happy theme into the more, like, foreboding overall theme.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the soundtrack to this game works so fucking well.
Honestly, here's the thing. The composer for this game spent a lot of time literally studying how to give it a more cinematic feel as a whole.
Yeah.
Oh good, more of you fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Vroom vroom, motherfucker.
Stop that. Anyway, intentionally try to give it a much more cinematic feel to all of it.
Yeah.
And, like, I actually watched an analysis of, like, even just Eris's theme alone as to why it made you feel emotionally connected to the song itself, more than just nostalgia listening to it after the fact. Alright. Bolt. How about you enjoy some nice bolt? Oh. Hey! This game certainly has some interesting enemies. Yes, it does. Killer sword, black suit. Did the Grim Reaper stop using sickles and go to swords? I mean, maybe. You know, hearing all of this amazing music makes me so sad that we didn't get any more Final Fantasy music in Smash Bros. I mean,
wait for it.
You
never know.
Of course, I immediately flashed to fucking Hamilton. And you get this soft, contented, major key song.
Yeah.
And this is Tifa's theme also. Ah, these fuckers.
Ah, yes.
Stop. What? Fuck you. Clonk.
Bonk.
Stop that. You stop it.
Just get up the squirt bottle. Like, bad pupper.
Bonk. Would you stop it? No. Don't attack Tifa. Jeez. Steel! What did I just tell you? Alright, that's it. You stop it. Bonk. Damn!
Jeez.
One last chance here, Tifa. Alright. Oh.
Huh.
Well, I guess that's not your last chance. Alright.
Well. There we go.
Grass grows, birds fly, and Brother Tifa hurts people.
Yeah?
When you got skin in the game, you stay in the game, but you don't get a win unless we play in the game. Well, you get... Yeah. Okay. Can we get a bonk in the chat? I'm leaving you guys here. Have a good one, everybody.
Take care. Can we get bonkers in chat?
I just heard a fucking rumble. There was also a thunderstorm just last night, which is why I was like, bonk, bonk, bonk. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that a great deal. Alright, Tifa. Steal. Actually steal this time. No! They're not high level enough for that.
Or maybe they are. Because I think I remember only working like once, if that many times, the last time we streamed this.
Yeah. That's just it, though. Like... Alright. It's also because the steel materia itself is still really underleveled. But obviously the more that I actually use it, the more it should hopefully level. Alright. Surrender your body to me! No, not like that. Give it! God damn it,
Surrender,
Tifa.
surrender, but don't give yourself away.
Need a dispenser here. Alright. Leave Team Fortress 2 out of this.
I mean, in their defense, I brought it into it.
Yeah, I know. It's not a defense, though. Just as the music was about to transition. Oh, hey. Actually, that guy can steal shit. Alright. Yep, he's gonna try and steal shit. Oh my god, no!
Well.
Yeah, thanks. Don't you steal shit from me, you piece of shit. If you don't kill them usually within a round of actually doing that, they will
lose
actually...
it for good?
Yeah, they have that little smoke bomb thing and then they leave.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did he... Hopefully he didn't de-equip him. Wait, what? Wait, no, he still has it. Okay, I was just briefly confused. He tried to steal the armlet. He
Right.
didn't. I tried to do things like grinding for levels outside of towns because they often have inns, and that actually can be really good for recuperating any like HP and MP that you lose in the middle of battle,
Yeah.
as opposed to having to use potions and others continuously.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god. Seriously. Out of curiosity, how would you rank all the party members? Good. That's how I would rank them.
I mean, there you go. No tier list to be found. Yeah. Mama Lorelai loves all her children equally.
Okay, but Jesus.
Damn.
In all honesty, if I were to actually, I would have to actually focus on ranking them, because quite honestly, I will say, Kate Sith is unfortunately towards the bottom, and it's largely because he's introduced so late. And if I'm allowed to include Sephiroth as a party member, because he briefly does get to be a party member.
Yeah?
And again, this full triumphant return of the theme, I love it. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
he'd probably be pretty high up on the list. I like the team that I currently have, I'll admit that. Ah, good. You're better at stealing from fucking motorcyclist weirdos. I do like Cloud as a party member, but I don't know that I'd rank him near the top. Aerith was always going to be among one of my favorites. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
I do like Tifa as a party member, but I don't like her in combat, just as a whole.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And Vincent's got his perks, but it's mainly with, like, finishers and stuff.
Yeah, Yuffie, unfortunately, also tends to fall pretty low on the list.
Yeah, it's primarily because she's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah. She is, as a character, I mean, she's still worth having in your party, especially for the story stuff that you get out of actually finding her.
Yeah. Closure for all the Wu-Tai stuff.
Yep.
And I mean, as for Sid, I mean...
Oh, God, yeah, he's up there. He's gonna make you drink your goddamn tea.
Yeah?
Tifa, I swear to fucking God.
I don't think any of them are listening right now.
God damn it, Tifa.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get any fruit from this until you level that up a lot more, unfortunately.
It's not impossible. Did the headlight went through her head? There we go.
There you go. We got our 1 in per stream. Be prepared to never see that text again.
It happened years though. I don't remember being disappointed at how Vincent works in combat because I'm the type of person who wants to control my party at all times. It happened years though. I might give him another chance. Honestly, here's the thing. Like, I like Vincent as a character. He'd probably be somewhere in the mid-range in terms of ranking them. Yeah. I love him as a character. Combat-wise, he's interesting. He's good for range. And I do love, actually, his limit breaks. Not so much because of the losing control of the character, but because they're actually really fascinating, and especially if you get his ultimate limit break.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
I will say, though, if you're more inclined to try and get more action into it, or some more bang for your buck with Vincent, just play Dirge of Cerberus.
Oh, yes. I only played that briefly back when it first came out. Oh.
And I know I've told you this one before, but I'll let the audience in. Dirge of Cerberus is the only Final Fantasy game I have ever finished. And that's probably going to piss a lot of people off. Yeah.
I had him at a party at the end game, and I had him do his limit, and a disaster happened.
Ooh.
Oh, no. I love that even in this triumphant music, there's something sad and somber about it.
Oh, yes.
Like, even on it as it's swelling, you know? Yeah. There's still something sad about the tone, and not even just nostalgic, but... nice.
Dirge of Cerberus, the Swordsman, is a third-person character action game. About as far from the traditional Final Fantasy gameplay formula as you can get.
Honestly, here's the funny thing. Like, it was, I think, one of the early attempts to actually do a spin-off game for one of the Final Fantasy games.
Yep.
Final Fantasy X, I believe, it either came later or it was around that same sort of period. So Final Fantasy X-2 was, I believe, the second time. I forget. No. Final Fantasy X and X-2 came first, I think. Dirge of Cerberus, I remember coming out after that. But when they learned that they could do a sequel to the game, of course, they went back immediately to their first major fucking blockbuster hit and released, you know, that as an option for the backstory of their...
One of the fan favorites.
One of the fan favorites, especially because we never really got to see much of all of his background. Like, we got to see bits and pieces, but it was still fairly unresolved.
Oh, yes.
So,
and I think they're also playing off the popularity of Advent Children at the time. So.
Yeah, a little bit.
God, that reminds me. You know something you and I should watch at some point that we haven't. At least I know I haven't watched in a while. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it. And that's Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
No. Anyway. All right. Anyway, what was I even gonna say? Stop doing that. I was trying to organize my thoughts. Okay, so in the instance of, Dirge of Cerberus also did more than just doing Vincent's backstory. It also did a little bit more backstory on, like, Shinra, the Turks, the way that they operated, like, in terms of shady organizations and all of that.
Yeah.
And here's the ominous music. Great.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really cool entry into doing exactly that. And, from there's when they started coming out with additional sequels to Final Fantasy VII, and some of them were good, and some of them were not as good. I never actually ended up being able to see things like,
Crisis Core.
Crisis Core. Nice! It finally paid off!
Hey!
Heathers, Jesus fucking Christ. Ethers are really useful. Heathers, not so much.
Depends on the heather.
Depends on the size of the heather.
Yeah.
The spirits within 2 party members were KO'd, and I was the only one left, and I couldn't revive anyone. Oh, yeah.
Oof.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, last battle is not the best place to do that. I could see that for Final Fantasy VI, where if you're in that last battle and your fallen members don't make it to the next round, they get replaced by the next people in the tier that you have lined up before going into battle. Damn it, stop it! Nice. Nice. Alright. But yeah, I do want to see Crisis Core at some point. I mean, thankfully, with the advent of Let's Plays, it's a lot easier to see these games that were previously denied to us, so I may actually do that. I also need to either see or play the remake.
Yes, absolutely. I also know, like, jack shit about the whole of it, but I know there is one involving Zack Sephiroth and a new character that they introduced based on Gok.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was actually Crisis Core.
Was it Crisis Core? Because I thought that was a different one.
I think it was. I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and check on that, but, like...
Because I know there were a few games that had to do with, like, the whole thing with Zack and Aerith and all that.
Yeah, that was Crisis Core, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, trying to get my train of thought back here. Oh yeah, so someone actually had the fucking audacity to complain about streaming and, like, you know, oh, well, streamers should have to pay a fee to the people that own the game that they bought it, that made the game, because, you know, they're making money off of other people's hard work. And it's like, first of all, the gameplay in itself is the point. And they're like, well, I mean, if you wouldn't be making money without... It's like, you know what, if you force people to have to pay to play your game, then they're not going to do that, because what people come to the streams for is not the game, but the commentary on it. And people can find other things to commentate on, as a lot of people and other streamers have done over the years. So if you want to try and force to scramble that last little bit of money that you can to scrape it off the surface of all of these people who do stream your game, you're a fucking idiot. It's not going to work. And the other thing is, I know that I don't have $60 or $70 or $80 to drop on a game that I have not seen the plot of or know how it plays. Do you know what I go to Let's Plays and streams for? When I want to explore a game to see if it's something I might be interested in? I go to Let's Plays. I think, this is something that I do want. This is something that I don't want. But I'm not going to spend $60 on your game. Either I get to see it and confirm that it's something that I can play and am interested in playing, or I don't buy it, period. But if you don't give me the chance to be able to see it, if you don't give me the chance to actually see how something plays out, like you're like, oh no, especially story-heavy games, if you play it all out, then no one's going to have the incentive to play it. And it's like, again, with games, the point should be, in fact, the experience that you have while playing the game, not just the story itself. If your game is ruined entirely because the plot gets spoiled, that's a bad game. A game is supposed to be about game play. Now, I love story-heavy games. That's actually usually what I am drawn to the most, as a matter of fact. But, like, if the entirety of your game is only bottled up in the writing, then why did you make it a game? Why didn't you make it a video? Why didn't you make it a book? And if you think that the entirety of your game is in the story, then you have made a bad game, and people shouldn't be dropping $60 on it.
Thank you.
If you make a game where the only way to enjoy it is to spend money to skip grindy shit, you have made a bad game.
Yeah.
If your game can't stand up to other people finding out what goes on with it, if your book and your movie can't stand up to people finding out what happens in it, it's a badly written thing.
Yeah. Like, again, if you are, like, here's the thing. I can understand wanting to have, like, a good balance between the gameplay and the story. And if that is at all possible, fucking shoot for it. But if your finished product and satisfaction as a creator is dependent entirely on the story, then make a book, make a movie, make a visual novel, something like that. If you want to focus on making a video game, focus on the gameplay and have everything else support it.
Yep. Because here's the other thing. I've talked about it at great length in this stream, in fact. But the reason why Final Fantasy VII works as well as it does in the context of its story is because of the interactive elements to it.
Yeah. Being
forced to slowly make your way out of the basement, you can't move any faster. And it builds that tension. And when you finally get to that cutscene of the fucking Sephiroth surrounded, wreathed in flames, it's a huge payoff. There's that emotional hit right to your chest. And that's why you play a video game that has a good story, is for those moments where your actions in the game have brought you to this emotional zenith. If your game can't be enjoyed unless you yourself, if your story can't be enjoyed if someone else is playing it, or I'm trying to think of it, if someone gets the exact same satisfaction out of your game by watching someone else play it than actually playing it themselves, then you didn't design a game, you wrote a book.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking, again, the whole concept of having to pay for every last inch of a game that you have purchased already, having to pay for every last little detail, trying to milk everything out of the player base as you possibly can, is going to work against you, because there's always going to be an independent creator, an independent developer, that's going to make a game that people love more than having to pay hundreds to thousands of dollars on. There are so many ways that you can monetize your game as it is. You don't need to do literally the microtransactions. You don't need to do this shit. And if you do, you're not selling us a game. You're selling us a money funnel to you. And eventually, especially in this economy, especially right fucking now, if people don't have the money to send in your direction, you can't get that money from them. And and at the end of the day, people aren't going to respect the material that you have provided them. They're not going to want it, and they're not going to respect you as a creator. I know a lot of people who have given a lot of these AAA developers with video games so many chances to try and actually, fix the mistakes that they've made, but they keep not only making those mistakes, but making bigger mistakes as they go. Fallout 76 now, again, people can enjoy that game. I'm not saying that it's not enjoyable in itself, but for most people, the elements about Fallout as a game series were completely stripped in the game by the time that they actually got to it. They paid a lot of money for a buggy, broken game with none of the things that you enjoyed about a role-playing game, and only the grindiest bits and the best ways to try and get money out of the players. That was the only thing that they ultimately sold, and even then, they punished their players by having glitches about, various weapons, or actually actively stripping things that their players have earned on the basis of assuming that they got all of their, scrap metal and shit like that through cheating. Someone actually spent hundreds and thousands of hours, or however, it was hundreds of hours, trying to actually play the game as intended, and they took their inventory from the player because he managed to trip up their anti-cheating measures. They assumed he must have cheated in order to get that many things in his inventory. I forget exactly what it was, but they took that. They actively ruined a player's experience because they wanted to make sure that they weren't getting something without paying for it. And I have bought games because I saw someone else the same. The gaming industry has made much worse decisions. Yes, you're not wrong, but this is still among the most insidious. Someone coming onto Twitter and saying, in my opinion, streamers should be paying to stream the games. And it's like, hey, I don't know if you knew this, but a lot of these games that people are streaming actually have an end user agreement where they are licensed the game to play however they want. And no, people don't get to have say over the end result of all of that. They don't get to have say over whether or not someone can stream it. I mean, you can manipulate the industry to be sure, but, if you ruin the ability for Let's Players and streamers to actually showcase your game, you're going to see a major drop in people willing to throw money at you. Some people are going to be devoted fans no matter what. But you're going to see a major drop in the people who are willing to give you money after you literally strip them of every cent that they have. People are not going to want to play your game. Yeah. Straight up. Not just because streamers can't stream it, but because they know that if they have it, it's not considered owning it. I saw that tweet, and a streamer I follow was really salty. I mean, heck, that's Fallout 74 with my 76? Yeah. It's a stupid position to take. It really is. And it's so completely out of touch with what people are actually doing in this day and age when it comes to video games that they're just not ever going to get it if they keep trying to get money out of their audience. People will pay money for good product. That is absolutely the case. But people will not pay money for something if they are forced to have to pay for every inch of it. Nice. So I'm going to continue with this. I'm probably going to end up closing out the stream with a little bit of this grinding. Yeah. I know I got started a little bit late, so I'm not cutting out just now. I'm just saying. That's probably how I'm going to end up finishing off this stream. But video games are one of those things where Alright, cool. Anyway, sorry. They're very important to me. I have literally kind of been in this thing for the last 10 years, doing streaming and all of that, this entire time. Because I love video games. But there's only so far that love is going to be there. There are a lot of people who have been showing their love for video games, and pretty much the main reason why the industry has thrived the way that it does is because of things like Let's Plays.
Yep.
And streamers. That's the reason why the industry has gotten such a boom, is because now people don't have to pay an admission fee to be able to see whether or not it's something they want to invest money in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's even in itself, like... that's even in itself, Sorry, I've lost my train of thought, unfortunately, because I'm doing combat at the same time. What was my sentence before I got distracted?
Basically akin to, like, people aren't... Like, the reason video games have thrived as much as they have is because of the connection with the story and everything.
Well, and not having to pay for every inch of it.
Yeah.
But it's been a symbiotic relationship, that's the thing, between the players and the actual video games themselves. And now that we've had a period of time where people didn't have to pay $60 just to see the game, they're seeing a surge. They've seen a surge. And now they're turning around on the very people who basically made video games go from a niche industry where literally no one, not literally no one, but very few people outside of the Madden people were... No, you don't get to do that, sir. Anyway, sorry. Where was my sentence just before now? Sorry.
Very few people outside the Madden crowd.
Yeah, were promoting these games in a way that was actually going to make it easier for them to, like, video games became as popular as they are because of Let's Players and streamers. It entered a much more mainstream consciousness. More people wanted to buy video games because of this exposure through YouTube and everything else. And they are where they are because people independently said, hey, I want to share my passion for this game with other people. To turn around and say, no, you need to pay me for this, is shooting themselves in the foot. Other independent creators are going to fill in the gap. People who are okay with their games being streamed because they know that it's going to make them more money in the end are going to see... they're going to see the success that these other companies are throwing out the fucking window because they think, oh, well, now we've got this monopoly on it. And it's like, you're only going to get what you want if you actually cooperate with your user base. As long as you actually create a game worth playing, then people will play them. And it doesn't matter if they're streaming the story or not. I know that I've been carrying on about this. It's just, it is a very cyclical kind of thing. They don't understand that they are damaging themselves in the end by doing this. And then you look at things like Fall Guys and Among Us and all of these games. I mean, Undertale was another example of a game that was kind of under the radar until people were doing Let's Plays of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Among Us has apparently been around for 2 fucking years.
I thought it was a recent game, and no, it was largely unknown until it started getting streamed, and then people were like, oh shit. And that's why you're never going to see, Yeah, let's just kill that one. Anyway, you're never going to see an independent developer really shoot down the opportunity to have people stream their games. because they know that the best way to actually get what they want out of their user base is to let other people basically show what their game is. If you've got good gameplay, people are going to want to engage with them themselves. If you don't have good gameplay, then of course people aren't going to pay money to play your games. Why would they? So, I mean, that's just it. Write better games, and if you can't, then get good.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, then, you know?
Yeah. And if you can't, then start by writing a better story in general.
Yeah.
After you've gotten that much done, then decide what you want to do with that story.
Making a video game tell a good story. Jesus. This game is an example of exactly that.
Yeah, it's its own special kind of art that not just any writer can do.
It's using the gameplay in itself to actually be able to tell the story. You need to be able to do that if you're making a video game versus any other medium to tell your story. But that's the point. Like, people love Silent Hill not just because it's a good story or it's a good game, but because it uses the cinematic angles, it uses the way that you play the game to make you feel nice. To make you feel so much more engaged, so much more afraid of what's been going on. Actually, I think I'm going to just go into the town. Yeah, I think I'll stay. They were planning to make Among Us 2, but when Among Us exploded, they canceled the sequel to work on that. I mean, they're probably still going to make an Among Us 2, but they're putting that more on the
priority right now.
Yeah, exactly. But because they know that they can actually put stuff into the game that is currently popular to continue to expand on its success.
Yeah.
Alright. So, I think that's pretty good with one more level with Cloud and actually managing to level the All materia, which is actually pretty damn cool. Five Nights at Freddy's is also a good example of how Let's Plays affect sales. Minecraft! Yeah. Fucking Minecraft! The reason why YouTube had to change its algorithm about video games on its platform is because Minecraft fucking sailed through the fucking roof as a result of streaming and gameplay showing up on YouTube. And more people bought the game because people saw the game and wanted to play what they saw, because the gameplay was the emphasis and not the what they saw. Watching someone else play it didn't give them satisfaction. But again, if someone gets satisfaction out of only watching your game, you made a bad game. Simple, and you don't deserve the money that you're trying to charge people for it. Anyway, all of that said, obviously, we have come to the end of the stream. 'Cause I need to go and take care of some shit. But I do want to thank everyone for who dropped by today. You know, it's always nice to have folks dropping by the stream, getting to see you guys chat, getting to see what you guys are saying, and have these conversations with you. Obviously, I have some very passionate opinions one way or another, but I am glad to be able to talk about these things and, you know, get your guys' input on this stuff. Like, you know, I do read what you're saying. Sometimes I'll get distracted, obviously, but, like, especially if you're watching this now, or if later on you're watching this video and you want to leave a comment, I'm going to get notified, and I usually read every comment that I get, so, you know, just know that it's seen. I may not always respond to it, for which I apologize, but I do see what people are saying, and it's always really nice to get those comment notifications. And it's always nice to have people here live, too. Anyway, especially while I'm sharing one of my favorite games of all time. I want to thank you, Griffin, for joining me as co-host for this, as usual.
Always a pleasure.
I want to thank, again, very specifically Shakarian. Thank you much for your coffee donation earlier. That's, again, every bit helps right now, and that actually helps make things a little bit easier as we're going into this next month, because I have a couple of things that it was going to be skimming at me pretty damn close. So thankfully I've got a little bit more wiggle room with that financially now. So thank you so much for that. That's one of the reasons why I do emphasize these things, because it does actually really help me. And I try to do it not in the manner of, give me money or else, but in the sense of like a reminder of like, hey, if you want to do this, it's not expected, it's not necessary, it's not required, but here are some options for, how you can help me out with all of this. But that all said, it's all appreciated, whether it's comments or sharing my channel with people, sharing videos. I am hoping to have, like I said earlier, another Ballad of Lorelei out this coming week. I think that early accessors are going to have this next video tomorrow. So if you're not already subscribed to Serenia Studios, it's, like I said, it's linked all over the place. And I'm hoping to be getting some other stuff through the pipe. I keep saying it, but I really do actually have another pretty major thing that I'm going to be just finally throwing onto the channel. And it's going to be a long one.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, I think, a grand total of about 4 hours. And I think Griffin knows what I'm talking about when I say that.
Yes, I do.
So that's going to be something. I might break it down to like hour-ish increments, but at this point, I'm probably going to do like pretty much just an all-out here. Have 4 hours of listening to this. And that's actually going to be kind of the herald of something else new that's going to be coming to that channel. So, thank you guys all for watching, and I will hopefully be back next week, maybe with more Final Fantasy VII. That's kind of the plan as of right now, although plans may change depending on how things go. But in the meantime, have a good night, or evening, or morning, or middle of the day, whatever time it is that you're watching this at. I hope you have a good one.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.